Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye has friends. No, really, Jeff has friends. Jeff's friends are on this podcast. Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye's friendship.
Friendship.
Welcome back to Jeff Dye's Friendship Podcast. This might be my coffeeiest episode ever. Not coffee like black coffee or espresso, but I keep coughing a bunch. Got a little tickle in my throat. It's a lot of travel, a lot of allergies. But we are excited to welcome in our guest for episode 58. I don't know an athlete with 58, so just pick a guy, and that's who it's dedicated to. Whoever you like, your favorite 58, that's who gets the week. We're running out of athletes. The bigger the number, we don't know what to do. What if we get episode 158? Well, maybe like, oh, big shout out to a cricket player, Bernard Kilsby, who I've never seen, you know? It's going to be frustrating. But in the Fortress of Solid Dudes, our youngest podcast guest, but also, what a guy. Such a sweet guy. Actor, former hockey player, Gianni Paolo. I've been saying his last name wrong the whole time, so I had to glance to learn how to say Paolo. Gianni Paolo, one of the nicest dudes, super good. He's on a show called Power on I'm trying to remember the network, Stars Network, and then he's in a movie coming out written by Scotty Landis called Ma, which is the new Blumhouse film. It's going to be really good because I'm friends with Scotty Landis and I know how he writes. This has got to be a great movie. I hope that it's executed well through directing and acting and all these different things. But I'm sure it will be because Gianni is awesome. You guys are going to love this episode. I'm flattered to say he's my new friend. Me, Tony, and him hit it off real well. So enjoy the episode. If you're listening on iTunes, thank you so much. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe. If you're watching it on Patreon, thank you. We love you. We can't tell you how much we appreciate your subscription. It's going to good use for things that we need. Also, if you'd like to watch it and you would like to get goodies and extra things and free tickets to my comedy shows, go to patreon.com/Jeff Dye and check out check out the podcast. You can watch it. You can even watch all 57 weeks before it. Enjoy the pod. My man, he's in.
Hell yeah.
First and foremost, thanks for doing the podcast.
Thank you for having me. Yeah.
Yeah. Exciting stuff happening in your life.
Uh-huh.
You mentioned this before we went on air. You put it together.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Did you look at old episodes? How would you know that?
I did listen to 2 episodes, but I was just curious because I saw all the gaming stuff and I was like, am I the only person who's like really into this? Like, does like Dane Cook show up and he's like,
which is funny because he is a gamer.
Oh, really?
But we didn't talk about it. But yeah, that's
yeah,
very
he likes
interesting.
like Fortnite, right?
No,
the worst game ever.
No, I don't know if he plays Fortnite, but I see him like he posts like a thing on his Instagram of like him playing like Call of Duty or Battlefield or something.
I remember him playing Fortnite because like people were like, Dane Cook for real is on Fortnite. Like people were going crazy.
Is that his gamer tag, Dane Cook for real?
Yeah, Dane Cook for real. I'm just kidding. That's not right. But yeah, like I feel like I'm very dated. Like you could come into my house and go, oh, I know when this guy was born. Like because I'm forever stuck in this like, I like Sean Kemp and I like pro wrestling. I'm very much like Adam Ray. We're very similar that way.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're the youngest to be on the podcast.
Nice.
You got the record.
Yeah.
First person on the podcast younger than me.
Yeah. How does that make you feel, Tone? Does it make you feel a little weird?
No, I think I like it. I think now I don't have to be the young buck. Yeah.
That's one thing I like about it. I like aging. I found it to be phenomenal in the fact that like the older I get, I thought I'd resent it, but I like it.
Yeah.
Aging's been great.
Yeah, I want to stop at like 33, I think.
You think so?
Yeah.
But you haven't been to 33.
That's true.
Every year gets
I get
better than
shit
the
on
last.
so much, like, because I do Theo's podcast, and they just shit, like, every time, like, Sportsman was on, like, I just say something, they're like, shut up, like,
Really?
you're 22. But it's like a joke, but, like, it's also the same time, like, I just feel like if I was older, like, what I'd say would, like, mean more a little bit, you know? They're like, you haven't lived.
Well, every year gets better than the last for me.
That's true.
Because like what young is good, youth is good. You feel good, you look good, everything. I get that. I understand why people love youth. But the older you get, the more money you have, and the older you get, the more things you know, and then also you've learned from your mistakes. You have accumulated more friends. You've accumulated more interests and things. I think like if you'd have called me gay when I was like 18, I'd be like, you don't call me gay.
Fuck you, you're gay,
But then
dude.
you get to a certain age. Nothing could really bother me.
Yeah.
I'd be like, all right.
Yeah.
I know where my genitals go at the end of the night. And I didn't have that when I was young.
Yeah.
I would be rattled easily.
Yeah.
And like something would just spin me off. But like I feel like the older you get, you just go, oh,
Yeah, you're more
everything's
composed
fine.
a little.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Someone cuts me off in traffic. I'm not like, I gotta follow this guy. Like, no, I'm just happy. It's okay. The guy's shit at driving.
I feel like when you think you have more stuff to lose, you kind of like second guess. You're like, it's not really worth to like, like even like just like fighting someone. You're just like, is it really worth to like fight? Like when you're 20, like
have you ever been punched in the face?
me?
It's the worst.
Yeah.
It's the worst. Like you go, I'm never.
Yeah, it's not great. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it for anyone.
At all.
Yeah,
Yeah, like you start going, I'm not. I'll do anything to avoid that.
yeah.
Yo, give me your watch. Like, all right, man, just don't punch me in the face. Like,
Well, I grew up playing hockey a lot, and I did fight a lot.
Yeah.
And every time, like afterwards, like you get like this adrenaline rush after you fight, but then you like sit in the penalty box, and then you start to like really feel like what just happened. You're like, fuck, I don't want to do this again. It's kind of like why I started like getting into acting. I'm like, do I really want to just get punched in the face all the time? Like, not really, you know?
So yeah, according to your Instagram, I wrote this down. It looks like hockey was maybe your first love. Yeah.
So I grew up in Rhode Island, and probably from like 2 to 19, I played hockey pretty much probably every day.
Really?
Yeah, it was insane. And then I mean, it always was on like the best teams. Like I probably have a kid on every NHL team that I've played with or known. And by the time I hit like maybe like 14, I knew like really what I wanted to do was like the entertainment industry and comedy, and
It's
just
fun,
like
right? You get way
it's
more
so much
attention.
fun.
Yeah.
It's like, and I would always get like put down like on my hockey teams when I was like 10, 11, 12, because I was outgoing, and I'd make like, I remember specifically, there was like, we were outside warming up before practice one day, and there was a condom on the ground, and no one knew what it was, but I knew what it was. Like I had older brothers, and I picked it up, and I was like, oh, like it's a condom, and I was just like making jokes, and I got in so much trouble with the hockey team, and I was like, why am I in trouble? Everyone was laughing, like why is that? Like everyone was happy.
Well, you threw it on Darren. That's the problem.
Yeah. But it was just always like I would always get put down for like being outgoing and trying to be funny, and even in school, and I just hated it. So I was like, well, I just want to do something that I'm allowed to do this.
Now it's encouraged.
Yeah. Now it's like everything. It's like, more of that.
Yeah.
You know?
Which is interesting, like not to get into like any of the shenanigans that Roseanne did.
Yeah.
But when she got in trouble, I remember thinking, we've encouraged her behaving badly
Forever.
for 30 years.
Yeah.
We've in fact said, oh, we like that about her, that she'll say stupid things and go rogue. And so it's fun to be in a business where like if I someday have a drug overdose and I'm running down the street in my underwear, like I'm probably not going to lose my job. People are like, it's Jeff. He's a comedian.
I'll have to answer a lot of questions about it, but you know, they'll come
people
to
go,
me.
what happened with that?
Yeah, I'm like, don't
It
worry.
was just one day, man.
I don't know. Anyways, he's still in Cleveland this weekend.
Like, get your
Check out
tickets.
the punchline. Yeah. That's
It's a fantastic. So when you were in hockey, you were obviously very good. What was your position, though?
I was a defenseman. So I was 5'7". I'm like 5'8" now, but like when I was playing, I was 5'7". And there are maybe 1 or 2 defensemen in the NHL that are 5'7".
Because it's too...
It's just like, I mean, there's more skilled guys are smaller, and but pretty much everyone is big and strong, and you know, shots from the blue line, the point, like they need guys like that.
You need to be zippy.
Exactly.
If you're going to be 5'7", 5'8".
So, but I just kept getting overlooked because of my size, and I worked so hard. Like I'd wake up at 5 a.m. I'd go to the rink before anyone else. Before school, I'd like do
5'8"
sprints.
a giant in the acting business.
Yeah.
Sincerely, like Conan O'Brien would be considered like cute and little in the NBA, but he's considered a freak in show business.
Well,
like
I walked in,
he's 6'4".
dude, how tall are you?
I'm 6'4", and I've lost parts because of it.
Really?
Yeah, people are like, he's too tall. We can't have him standing next to Sylvester Stallone and the guy, and Stallone's down here. Like they want them all to be. So you picked the perfect business for your personality and your height.
So I walked in and I was like, holy shit, how tall is this guy?
Deceiving. Yeah. Wait, so in hockey, you said, you know, as a defenseman, I love that there's checks and balances in hockey.
As in what?
as in far, I don't know if it's still like this, but I watched a whole documentary about how there's the quick guy, right? And if he gets checked,
Yep.
you're
gonna deal with
you're gonna have
the
to
fighter.
deal with the bosses coming in. The old goon's gonna come in and make you pay.
Well, it was so funny because I was the smallest kid on my team my last year playing junior hockey. So when you play hockey, like before you go to college, you have 3 years eligibility after you graduate high school. So you have 3 years eligibility to play junior hockey and just hang out.
Okay.
It's the weirdest thing ever. They want people to come in and be 20-year-old freshmen.
Sure.
So, and be bigger and stronger and all that stuff. So I was that guy like my senior year and my last year, because there was our team had like I think 6 NHL draft picks, and every time like someone would get hit, they'd be like no one else would do us. I'd be like, I'm the fucking smallest guy on the team, man. Come on. So I feel like I had to take over that role, and I hated it. Like I didn't hate it. It was like it's fun for everyone to be like, fuck yeah, like have respect for you, but at the same time it's like, damn, dude, I don't want to do this forever.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so being the small guy, I was just like, I don't think I'm going to have a very long career,
Okay.
Like I could have played in Europe somewhere. Like I could have played Division I hockey, but
Do you still watch hockey?
So when I moved out to LA, I moved out when the day after my 19th birthday. I was probably here for 2 years, and I was so poor. I was miserable. I was like just struggling, and I was pretty resentful because like I'd see like my friends sign like
tough.
$90 million contracts. I'm like, you got to be fucking kidding me. So I would just be like super angry. But now, like I guess it's more of like
You're eating like top ramen.
Yeah, exactly.
Watching
just like
a guy on
it.
TV.
Yeah. And then he's like booking commercials. I'm like, I fucking went out for that. But I just remember just being like resentful, and that's like more on me. It's like it's a look at myself. So then now when I'm doing better and I have things coming out, and I watch it all the time now. I'm super like I never used to talk to them, and now like they want to talk to me because like I feel like everyone like athletes want to be in the entertainment industry, and entertainment people want to be athletes.
That's part of getting older too.
Exactly.
Well, and what's interesting is that let's say you didn't have as much success as you're having right now, and you just kind of were still eating cup of noodle and in some studio apartment in LA struggling, and wait about 10 years. And those guys are going to really miss the attention. They can't do hockey forever. Like pro athletes' shelf life is insane. Like I'd be considered like a dinosaur in NHL.
Yeah.
It's like 36, get him out of there. He's got no legs. But in acting, it's only going to get.
Just get more roles.
Exactly. So that all comes full circle too. That's a fascinating thing. I have trouble watching baseball, and I was never going to be a pro baseball player. And it's just because they're younger than me now. I liked them when they were men.
Yeah, well, it is weird because I watch a ton of hockey now, and I talk to all my friends, and like I'm super supportive, and they're super supportive. But like the first time I watched college hockey was the Frozen Four recently, and I have a friend that plays on Providence College, and I was like holy shit, like these kids are. I remember watching college hockey my whole life, and they were always like 4 or 5 years older than me. I'm like, I'm older than these kids.
It's weird, right?
It is so weird. I'm like, this kid's sick. I'm like, oh my God. He's like, yeah, he's 18. I'm like, oh my God. There's like a guy in the NHL. His name's Patrick Laine. He scores I think he had like maybe 40 goals last season. And they're like, yeah, he was born in 98. I'm like, that's how old my little brother is.
Right.
Like, it's insane.
Crazy.
Well, it's like we grew up in Seattle, and I've never called anyone a kid. That's a very like East Coast, like, hey kid, she's dating this new kid.
Yeah, it's Boston. What's up, kid?
Very
What's up,
New
kid?
England-y way to talk. I say it now when I talk about sports because they look like kids to me. I just find myself going, oh, we got this new kid. Because I can't see them as they're not men to me.
Seattle's getting a hockey team. Are you guys excited about that?
Can't wait.
Yeah,
We're very excited. It's also going to make me a hockey fan.
Yeah.
Because I don't watch hockey because I'm such a homer. Well, but now that Seattle's going to have a team, forget
it's the same
about it.
thing with Vegas. Like when Vegas got their team, like, oh my God, it's insane. They have like sword fights before the game. It's crazy.
It's like a whole show.
Yeah.
The CERT guys literally will go do that and then go to their actual shows at
And
night.
we have a lot of hockey in the Northwest. So like we have like a lot of minor league teams that like
The USHL, which I went and skated with a couple teams out there. So that's like a junior league. They have a lot of teams in like Iowa and like over there.
the WHL is like that league is like 6 teams in Washington State and then like 12 teams in Canada. So like we have hockey. Yeah. So I think Seattle's going to eat it up.
Yeah, so the WHL is also a junior league. So there's the WHL, which is the West. It's the Q, which is the league that I was drafted in.
They
which
better
is
not start a women's hockey league if the WHL's already taken.
They do have a women's hockey league, but I don't know what it's called.
Yeah.
Like
LHL.
Yeah, the ladies hockey league.
Ladies hockey, like a gals league. What do you call them? W's taken.
Yeah. So I was drafted in the Quebec League, which is like the Northeast and like Montreal and Quebec City and around there. And then the Ontario Hockey League is like New York and like Toronto and those areas. So it's like you can only get drafted on like where you grew up. It's pretty weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, do they make it hard to work up in Canada?
Well, if I went and played for that team that drafted me, I would lose my college eligibility. And at that point, I was talking to a lot of Ivy League schools, which is what I wanted to do. I wanted to do theater at an Ivy League school and play hockey. I was like, this is perfect.
Yeah.
But they kept like pushing it back and be like, oh no, like I want you to come in next year. I want you to come in next year. And it's like, okay, well, if I'm going to start when I'm 20, I already lost like in college, and then I'm graduating when I'm 24. I already lost all my high school roles.
Right.
So it's like, what's the point of moving out to LA?
That's smart of you. You're
Yeah.
thinking of those things at that age.
Yeah, and I really had no idea about the entertainment
Most guys your
industry.
age are just trying to get laid and eat tacos. You're a smart kid.
I know that's
I've
right.
done that, but
Yeah, well, but I know that
Sounds pretty good.
You can do it while playing it. What was your first job when you got to Los Angeles?
as in,
How'd you make money?
I worked at a gay bar in West Hollywood.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, I was like, how am I really going
Crushed
to
it.
clean it up?
You
Yeah, it
crushed
was called
it.
Beach Nation. It was on Santa Monica and Sweetser.
That's
Yeah.
fantastic.
You know where Hamburger Mary's is? Like that, they have like drag shows.
Yes.
Right, it was right across the street from there.
Really?
Yeah, and I worked there for about like maybe a year and a half.
What was it like? I mean, as far as like what'd you have to do? Like first day of the job, you're like, all right, I guess we're doing this.
Well, I started off.
What will
no
I
one
put
would
up
hire
with?
me. No one would hire me because I didn't have any like
you a server?
restaurant experience,
Yeah.
and I even lied, and I was like, yeah, I worked at Mastro's and like all this stuff, and no one was still hiring me. I don't think they believed me.
Right.
Yeah, but I don't know. So then I showed up, and then I would start. I started to dishwash there and bus.
Nice.
And then they I would serve the food, and the guys would be like, oh, like they talk to me, and then the manager of the restaurant would like realize that, and he's like, you're a server. So like 2 weeks later, like I became a server.
They're like, who's the dish boy?
Yeah, exactly. So then I started serving, and I would make so much money. We had this thing called Boys Sundays, where it was like all like bottomless mimosas. Oh my god! And
bottomless servers. You're just sitting there with no pants.
I would strut around that restaurant and make as much money as I could.
You know what's fascinating
Man.
is not to profile or stereotype the gay community, but gay men are next level flirtatiously aggressive.
That was my next thing I was gonna say. Like
next level.
if I had $1 for every time someone told me they were gonna spit roast me, I'd have like maybe like $17.50. Like it was
what
like,
does that even mean?
I asked the first time and then I never wanted
Yeah.
to know again. They're like, it's like I'll be behind you and then he'll be turning you. I'm like, yeah,
Oh
just
my
stop.
God.
Yeah. They're like super aggressive.
Super creative
Yeah.
too. It sounds.
Yeah.
That's fascinating. Well, because that's the thing is like as a server in like just like regular restaurants back in Seattle, I would be like, man, there's a lot of like sexual harassment in this profession.
A lot.
Between the staff with each other, between the management and the staff, between the customers and the staff.
Yeah.
There's just a ton. It's a whole different ballgame when it
Yeah,
comes to like sexual
exactly.
harassment things. But when you put the dynamic of like fun, sassy gay guys and handsome men servers, who I presume you're gay.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I was always
They
like,
think, oh, he
they'd
works
always
here.
ask me, this would be a serious thing. It would be like, I'd go up to a table and they'd be like, okay, we all have a bet. This maybe happened once a week. Be like, are you gay or not? And I'd be like, I don't know. I'd be like, I don't know. What's the tip gonna look like?
Yes. You would say, I don't know.
No, I'd be like, no, I'm not gay.
Oh, really?
But like, nothing wrong with that. You know, like if you're gay, like great. But
Yeah.
that's
No,
just.
you cannot be gay. It's okay to say you're not gay.
I don't know. I had my publicist
There was
over there,
like
I'm getting nervous.
disclaimers. That's really funny. Jeff, are you white? Yeah, I mean, but there's nothing wrong with not being white. Yeah, just are we are. That's so funny. They would try to start it as corny as a straight man would.
Yeah.
Because like that's such a bad opening. We have a bet.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Obviously, everybody's gambling at this restaurant now. You know, we all have bets.
Yeah, it was pretty wild, but I had a lot of fun. Like, don't get me wrong, like it was so much fun. Like we did like gay pride. I'd leave with like $2,000.
Yeah.
And I took so many classes, like improv, acting, like all this time. So I was taking
helps
like
with the tables, yeah.
so much. Like I'd be able to take like as many classes as I wanted.
And the tables help with the vice versa. It helps with like the acting and all that stuff. I feel like I was always performing for the tables.
Yeah.
And I have to read them. If like this guy's not feeling my humor, he just wants to be with this girl.
Yep.
I
I
sit
felt,
back.
I felt like I was
just be
like a great people person. Like I'd make everyone laugh. It'd be fun. But I'd always fuck up everything, like the orders and
You're like me.
yeah. It's
I
just
was
like,
the worst server
yeah.
and the most popular server.
yeah, exactly. And they would just put me on for the whole restaurant for Boys Sunday, and like I'm fucking
my
everything
God.
up, and they're like, we're making so much money though, you know? Like I would
You're like,
literally,
guys, I'm getting butt fucked over here. I mean, not metaphorically.
yeah. Oh man.
That joke really crushed the
Yeah.
room. I feel like made it weird.
Yeah.
No, what was your first job in Rhode Island? Or did you have like a regular jobs then, or did you just play hockey all the time?
Well, I played hockey, but I worked for a online dog food company called doggyfood.com,
Doggyfood.com.
which is now closed. So, but I did work for them, and I did like dog people are, I think, crazier than restaurant people. Like,
Yeah.
like
Really?
yeah. Like you would call them and. So it was like this whole thing where like they drop ship from a different location. So two things would come from two different places, and people would literally be like, well, the first thing came, but the second one didn't. It's like, yeah, like it's in the email. You have ordered from us 50 times. Like
Yeah,
you
you
should
should
know.
know.
And then you call them, and then it's a lot of like lonely people who just want to talk to you. I'm like, the phone's ringing off the hook, and people are like, yeah, like, how's your day going? You want to be nice, but you're also
Right.
like, listen, I gotta go. Like
Yeah.
it's just, they're really,
You find
Puddles
that
has a
in
flu
retail.
and he's
exactly.
napping
Like
right
that's not
now.
even a joke. Like
Yeah.
it's crazy.
That's a really weird thing. How'd you get that job? I mean, how do you
Oh,
even
my
find that
dad
job?
was like an investor in the company, and
Okay.
like he did a lot of work with them. So that's kind of how I slid in.
just got
Because
that.
I was playing junior hockey my year out.
Yeah.
So all I was doing was playing hockey and doing theater classes and all that stuff. So I started in Rhode Island, and then I was like, oh, well, obviously I want to pay for my classes myself. So I did that.
It is weird how people find jobs.
Yeah.
Like, because, like, I'll talk about the zillion jobs I had because, like you, everyone liked me, but I just couldn't keep a job to save my life.
What was your
Even
first
if I
job?
just didn't like it, I'd just be like, I quit. And they're like, what do you mean you quit? You've been
Yeah.
here for like 2 weeks. It's like, yeah, it's not fun. Like, it's not supposed to be fun.
Yeah.
Like, I had every job. I've had over 20 different coffee jobs.
Jeez.
Just would go from coffee stand to coffee stand, a coffee shop, like name a coffee place in Kent area. I worked at it. Then I worked for a moving company.
Jeez.
And I'm the worst.
Yeah.
I'm not strong. I can't lift things. I'm very like I just want to make everyone laugh. I'm
Yeah.
pretty lazy when it comes to like work stuff like that. And I only got that job because my girlfriend at the time was very rich. Her parents were very rich, and their neighbor owned like a moving company. And they're like, our girlfriend's boyfriend needs to do something.
Yeah.
He's just not. He's 20 something years old. He's not doing shit. So they asked him if he would hire me, and he's like, yeah, but here's the hours. And then I was like, yeah, but I want to go to community college. And they're like, all right, we'll make a special shift just for you, where I come in at noon instead of the morning, and then just work till like 6 p.m. So I just worked noon to 6, which made all the movers hate me.
Yeah.
It's like, why does he get to come in at
Yeah.
noon? And I'm like, no, the owner. And they're like, ew, we hate that more. Like, you're friends with the man that like owns it that we've never even met. And I was the worst. I would start fights all the time by just making fun of somebody because they didn't have the verbal skills.
Yeah. Well, they're big dudes, huh?
Yeah, and they would lose their mind. They've been working at that place for like 35 years. They're just white trash idiots. And all of them, by the way, not generally speaking. And I would just say one guy was in the Navy, and I was like, yeah, aren't all the guys in the Navy like all like fruity and stuff, like that YMCA song? And the guy's like, no. He just loses his mind. And I was like, nah, I remember that song, like, in the Navy. And then he just like starts running towards. You couldn't verbally combat.
Did he attack you? Did
Yeah.
you guys-
I almost got my ass kicked all the time because like me getting a rise out of that guy's making all them laugh, and then
yeah.
I'm like, they're laughing. Let's
Yeah.
do
Don't
more.
you say
Yeah.
that about the Navy.
Oh,
And
it's
then
great.
did you work
Yeah,
at
it's not true.
Did you do comedy clubs too? Did you start
No,
doing
that
that?
time I wasn't doing anything. I just
But
worked.
did you work at comedy clubs after that or no?
Yeah, like shortly after that, I realized what I want to do with my life and started doing stand up.
Nice.
But I just always think it's so weird. Like I'll say, oh, I was a mover, and people are like, how did you get into that? I was like, just some girl, But like if you gave me 100 guesses on what your first job was, I would have never guessed
Doggyfood.com.
doggyfood.com.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's a fascinating thing.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah, it was wild.
Weird place to work. Would you ever date one of those crazy animal people?
I mean, I wouldn't say that I wouldn't, but
What if you met the woman of your dreams, but all she talked about was cats and shit?
Ugh.
yeah, probably.
You
I
did
think
it?
I could deal with the
Yeah,
cats.
she's a woman of your
If
dreams.
she's like, yeah, really.
That's a great answer.
Yeah.
What a good guy.
Yeah.
What about you? Perfect woman, but all she talks about is her spider collection.
No. Spiders. What?
Spiders are
Why do we
little-
go from cats to spiders? I can deal with cats.
Because, you already said cats.
I live with cats now that I don't like,
Really?
So my roommate has cats, and I'm just like, all right.
Hot take. Did you hear that, roommate?
Yeah, she
You
knows.
don't like your cats.
She knows. Spiders, fuck that.
You wouldn't do that?
No,
She's
I
don't think
perfect
I would
in
do
every
that.
other scenario.
Because
I
if
would
she's
go
just
cats.
like, it's perfect.
Yeah.
But that's not perfect. If
She
we're
can
going to sit on the
sleep.
couch and she's just going to have like a spider
Yeah, I
crawl
could
on her,
deal with that.
No.
You could deal with a big
If
tarantula.
she's perfect.
Yeah, that's true.
Every
guess
other
what?
thing.
Because she likes to pet spiders, that makes her not perfect.
This shows, that's the whole exercise, is that there's one thing that isn't perfect,
Yeah.
Tony. He's a very literal
That's
guy.
a scary thing.
It's perfect, but.
Yeah.
This little exercise does prove how men are worse than women. Because like women will watch like Dexter,
No.
he's murdering people, and they're like,
He's so
he's
dreamy.
charming.
Yeah.
You're like, what?
Well, that's like a whole new
He's
Ted
a
Bundy stuff
murderer.
on
He's not even
Netflix.
perfect, and he's murdering people, and they're still like, I think he's a good guy.
That's
Yeah.
been driving me wild.
The Ted Bundy stuff on Netflix,
Oh,
like people
God.
are like, they're just like, yeah, but he's so hot. It's like,
Which is crazy to me.
Because he's not.
Yeah.
Have we talked about this on this?
he looks like a
think
serial
so.
killer. Like he looks like a
Thank
fucking
you.
serial
Nothing
killer.
triggers me faster than when people say, and I haven't heard any people or girls tell me in my life or on the internet. I haven't heard any actual humans say it. But the narrative of the documentary was that Ted Bundy was a handsome guy.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
like had a law degree, which was like a shit law degree from a crap school. Doesn't even count.
Yeah.
and then he wasn't handsome.
Yeah, he could maybe talk his way. Like a lot of guys are like not good looking, but they're charming and they
Those
can like.
caveman eyebrows.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he had one eyebrow. He had like weird, like puffy
Yeah,
hair.
yeah.
He was very frail, like a little Frenchman that like smoked all the
He,
time.
he looked like
a
he looked
psycho.
like everyone's angry uncle, just
Yeah.
always
Yeah.
pissed off. And I like, who would get in that car? Like I
I
just.
don't understand.
Yeah.
And people are like, well, he didn't look like a serial killer. What do those look like? Are they supposed to have snarling teeth
Yeah,
and be
yeah.
like, I'm a murderer? Like, there's no. People,
Yeah.
people
Roll
are
a mustache.
obsessed with looks.
And then it's just gonna get worse because they have Zac Efron playing
Yeah.
him in the movie. So
Which is like
What
how
a
does
lead.
Zac Efron play?
What
Like,
a
that
lead.
may be the best looking guy in the world
Yeah.
playing Ted Bundy.
And now, young people, like 100 years from now, people are going to, I heard Ted Bundy was real hot. Like, look, I watched this old
and all
movie.
the pictures are gonna be gone.
Zac Efron.
yeah. They're like, they think Ted Bundy's Zac Efron. They're like,
Right.
yeah,
It's not fair. They're perpetuating the
Yeah.
thing. I have a big problem with people's. I do the same. Like when I date, I want her to be hot. Yeah,
Yeah.
I get it. Like I'm not above this idea, but I am obsessed with the fact that Americans and Western culture are obsessed with the way people look. They just can't, like the voice, they'll be like in the chair and then someone starts singing and they hit their button and they turn their chair around. I'm like, what?
Yeah, they're like, yeah.
But he's ugly.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah. He sings good.
Yeah, yeah.
It has nothing to do with your freaking face. And they're like, what? She's fat and she sings good? You're like, yes.
Well, what I'm curious about, this is a serious thing. It's like 90% of the good looking people, like I think men in particular, some women, they're like wet napkins. Like you meet them and they're boring. It's like,
Right.
why is that?
I
Like,
think
you think maybe they think they have it easy, so they're like,
the theory
they don't have
on
to try.
that, the theory on that, because maybe there isn't a relationship between
Yeah.
these two ideas. Then maybe there's no relation at all.
Yeah.
It's just that you've happened to meet a bunch of good-looking, boring people.
Yeah.
But the theory on that is that they've never had to develop a personality because people want to be by them, or people want to date them, or people want to
Regardless of how they
hire
act.
them. Yeah. I've found that to be true with a lot of gals. I used to always say like, my last girlfriend, she was beautiful on the outside. She was
Yeah. They're terrible. Like,
That's why people are single, because
Yeah.
we all date based on looks.
yeah,
We
especially,
date
in,
the way
especially in
Hooters-
LA.
Yeah.
You have to
100%.
find like the happy medium of like good looking, but also like
Well, that's the problem.
she won't kill me. You
Could just
know?
go, oh, she's hot. What could go wrong?
Yeah, everything.
And then everything goes wrong.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
I've literally, I bet
Well,
my dream
I
woman.
seem like you've had a couple of these situations.
Oh, a million.
Yeah.
My dream woman is probably some 300-pound lady who lives in Texas, and we would be so happy together. But because I'm such a fuckwad on what I like,
Yeah.
that she's just going to be alone.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be, you know what I'm saying? If I could just someday.
someone said that to me the other day. She's like, the person that you're gonna work with is gonna be, you're gonna see them for the first time, and you're just gonna be like, eh.
Yeah. Give them zero
I'm like,
chance.
no, no, like fuck that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I won't accept that.
They make so many movies about that though. They make so many movies where it's like they never gave the girl the shot, and then
Right.
they give the girl the
But the
shot.
problem is, even with those movies, like think about She's All That. even when they were trying to make it look like nerdy and unattractive, she was stunning.
Yeah.
I was like, I know that's not
Yeah.
Well, Shallow Hal. Shallow Hal. Have you seen that one? Jack Black?
Yeah.
It's basically about like
He can't see. He doesn't see who she really is.
Yeah.
And it's Cameron Diaz or something like
It's
that?
Gwyneth Paltrow.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Gwyneth Paltrow. Oh, my God. She was in a movie. I don't even know if I should share this.
Please do.
To be
Please do.
determined on editing. There's a woman named...
Make sure you take a pause afterwards if I do have to cut this out.
there's a woman named... She's an autistic woman, severely autistic. She created, because your mind thinks different, she was able to create a humane way to kill cows. So basically, like in the old days, like a long time ago, they would just be slaughtering the cows, and if the cows knew they were about to die, they would have fear. You know, they would feel the emotion of fear, and would release a chemical like an adrenaline in the cow
meat taste bad.
that would make the meat bad.
Yeah.
So her idea was like, well, how can we humanely kill these cattle where they don't even know they're about to die, and then the meat is good, and then also the cows, aren't dying in fear. And so she came up with this device that was able to kill the cows without them knowing, some sort of box that was like a mystery, just murder box, basically. Her name, gosh, what's her name?
I don't know. I've never heard of this murder box.
Temple Grandin was her name.
There you go.
That just came to me. Temple Grandin is, how do I put this delicately? Wildly unattractive. Like, I mean, just the most unattractive woman you've ever seen in your life. Trying to be delicate. She, but a brilliant mind and a really sweet lady and mentally challenged.
Yeah.
I mean, she's very, very far right on the spectrum of autism. To play her in the movie, they got Gwyneth Paltrow.
Are you serious?
It is a travesty.
It's already out. This is the.
Oh yeah, it came out like in the mid 2000s.
Oh my God.
And like if you look at the real, because the real Temple Grandin was on set. I actually got to work with Temple Grandin on Extreme Makeover Home Edition, and she's a real sweet lady and great. But she looks nothing like Gwyneth Paltrow.
Yeah.
Like they just couldn't help themselves.
How
Like,
do we sell this movie?
let's get an A-list, beautiful,
Yeah.
skinny, like nice. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Fucking Hollywood, you know?
That's how they do it, man.
It's wild.
It's tricky. I don't know why we got down that path.
We were talking about Zac Efron being miscast.
Yeah.
I guess not miscast. I shouldn't
Who do
say
you think
that,
you'd be
but
cast as? Like,
I don't know. Fucking Mankind.
if you like were like, okay, they're making a movie about this person, I could play this person. I'm curious who both of you actually.
Man.
Have you thought about this for yourself?
I actually haven't, but I'm
Okay.
gonna think about it while you guys are answering your.
I think I'd be a good Teddy Baseball, like Ted Williams, or any kind of like wiry. I think I'd be a good Ted Williams.
God damn, that's tough. I don't know.
I'm just trying to think of tall, skinny guys, so that's why I'm doing it. And he was athletic. I could like play
I
that.
know. Mine would be like not cool. It wouldn't be sexy like that. It'd be like Teddy Roosevelt.
Teddy Roosevelt.
We were talking. Our last podcast guest knows all the presidents, and if you just
was it?
mention. If you even just mention a president, he launches into so many things he knows about the
Really?
president. Yeah, Dietrich Bader.
Oh, okay, yeah.
There was a point when he was talking about one of the presidents. I don't even remember which one it was. It wasn't Teddy Roosevelt. It wasn't Calvin Coolidge.
I don't know.
Somebody that I literally kind of just was already in my own brain thinking like, how does he know all this stuff? He was even using words I'd never heard before to talk about I was like, this is crazy.
Do you wish you knew like useless information like that? Like,
I know the most useless information,
really?
but not history like that.
yeah, it's like cool stuff.
That's why I believe, this is my own little conspiracy theory, that when he heard me say a president's name, he's like, here's my lane. I'm going to get to share this information about this because where else?
Yeah. Jeff Dye's podcast.
Yeah. Finally.
Yeah.
I can, it's not useless anymore. Now it's become an interesting thing
Yeah.
that I can share.
Yeah.
Like you got to use those opportunities. You can't know everything about the Eiffel Tower and then just keep it inside. You got to, if there's a moment to share about the Eiffel Tower, you share it.
Well, there's so many like doing improv. There's so much useless information that is like like it's gold now. Like,
Yeah.
like there's so much stuff, dumb things, like
Dude.
specifics, and you're like, you say it and people go nuts, and you're like, how does
You know how many people think I'm a genius just because I know those kind of things?
You can recall just things.
But I know interesting things.
Yeah.
I don't like using the term useless information because I don't believe that's a thing. I think everything's useful in the right, situation. But I know all those kind of things. But if you ask me, Jeff, like, is Minneapolis the state or the city? I couldn't tell you. And I just spent a week there. I don't know. I don't know if that's the city or the
It's the
state.
city.
I don't
Yes,
care.
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit. I don't. That to me is information that I never needed.
Yeah.
I still don't need it.
Yeah.
And
If
so I don't
think
retain
I
it.
I wish I didn't know anything about math because I feel like it's just taking
Right.
shit up in my brain.
Right.
It's like, why the fuck do we ever do
And
any
I felt
of this?
that way about a lot of things. Like I could watch an episode of Jeopardy and like if they're like the really hard like history questions, like I don't know, but like just really trivial things, like I'm really good at that. And I was like, God, this doesn't help me. And it wasn't until like improv stuff, I was like, oh my God, I can pull this out of nowhere. Like someone could say one thing and I have like flip through a mental Rolodex and like, okay, I have these
A
facts
girl
about
last night, Holly Saunders, said to me, she goes, hey, what's so interesting? What is the most interesting you think about? What's the most interesting thing you know about Adolf Hitler? Because I was saying I find him very fascinating. I don't like him, obviously, but he's a very intriguing person. And I was like, all right. And I gave her 3 facts about Adolf Hitler that I think are the most interesting. And she's like, those are wildly interesting.
Well, now I want to hear it. Like,
All right. He was building a time machine, right? It was called Hitler's Bell, and it was like this thing. He literally was spending heaps of money to try to be the first person to ever have a time machine. But what makes that interesting, already kind of weird, but what makes it so interesting is that instead of like when we launched a shuttle into space, we didn't just go, here's, Neil Armstrong, John Glenn. We didn't just put him in there. Yeah. No, we put a monkey first.
Yeah.
We launched with nobody and just some cameras. You do some tests. Hitler was such a psychopath that he would just put his best scientist who was working on the belt, not a soldier. You go, all right, get in. And they're like, it's like an old German scientist who's like a genius. He'd put him in the bell. They would rotate the things, whatever it was, like lava, magma, whatever the hell was in it that they were testing. And the scientist would die. You just take the dead body out and be like, all right, where's our next scientist? Keep working on it. And he killed tons of scientists just testing out his time machine.
Who would take that job? You're like, oh,
Yeah,
fuck's
I mean, they
sake.
had to take that
I don't
job.
think they had a choice
day
back
one.
then.
They were
Yeah.
frightened of the fear.
You're like, well, if I don't finish this time machine and get it right, I'm either going to be in 1910 or I'm fucking dead.
It's insane.
So,
Yeah. The other one is that he had that mustache because he was a huge Charlie Chaplin fan.
Right. Which is
Can you
so
imagine
weird.
Hitler like laughing at his TV? Like, whoa, like it's this insane.
Yeah.
And so he copied his mustache, but then later in life, Charlie Chaplin did the movie The Great Dictator, and it pissed Hitler off so bad that he had everything removed from his home and set on fire in front of his house that even remotely was related to Charlie Chaplin.
Really?
Yeah, he was furious. And Chaplin was Jewish, right? Or was he Italian?
I don't know.
I don't remember.
But that's a pretty good fuck you move.
Oh,
That's crazy.
that's insane.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So there's interesting all those kind of like little fun tidbits you don't think you ever need.
Who would you play in a movie?
oh, fuck.
You've had time. You've had time
I
to
would
think
probably
about it.
be, like, I'm just thinking like a small hockey player that plays in the NHL would be probably Torrey Krug. He plays for the Boston
Oh,
Bruins.
that's a good answer.
Like if they
Zero chance that you don't get a hockey role because they're always looking for people who can, and this isn't a disrespect to actors, but a lot of actors can't throw a ball to save their
that's
life
my
or swing a
biggest,
bat. I almost got a role in Moneyball with Brad Pitt.
Oh, really?
And I'm not that phenomenal of an actor right now. Like I'm not that great.
Yeah.
I really was a dog shit actor in 2008.
Yeah.
And they brought me in and I almost booked the role just because when we were all out there throwing baseballs and like hitting balls, I looked the most like an athlete.
Yeah.
That's like my biggest
earlier
pet
in the
peeve.
year, I got offered a role in a hockey movie, but it wasn't the lead because a lead was like 26 and I just couldn't play 26. So they gave me like a small role. They're like, well, we still want you, but I didn't do it because I wanted to do the lead and it wasn't like a huge movie. So I was like, okay I'm not going to like go backwards, But there was maybe last year, there was a movie Destroyer with Nicole Kidman. And you had to go in, you had to do like, it was like played her son, but it was only one scene. So it was like very small. This was before Ma. And all you had to do was do like the 3 lines and then swing a bat. And then I swung the bat and they're like, like, yeah, like it's him or this guy.
He's
like,
our guy, yeah.
the only two people that can swing
Well,
it
it's
back.
fascinating. You think that like some actors, this is good advice. I can't give actors much advice, but here's something. Go to the batting cages.
Yeah.
Throw the ball
It's
around.
my biggest pet peeve, because I was like you, but with baseball. So instead of hockey, it was baseball.
very good.
I played baseball my whole life. I played in college, and like
Where'd you play in college?
First year I was in Vegas, and then I went to a community college back home.
Nice.
But
He could hit a home run in a Major League Baseball park on one pitch.
yeah, probably.
Really?
This is great debate we have.
Yeah, inside joke.
I really think I could. But yeah, when I see a sports movie, like that's like the one thing that like kind of takes me out of it, right? Like I loved like Jackie Robinson's like one of my favorite people. I was so excited to see 42. Chadwick Boseman, fantastic actor,
Yep.
not very athletic. And I was like, Jackie Robinson's the most athletic person who's ever lived.
Right.
And like you can't run awkwardly. You got to be, so that's like biggest pet peeve. So
Well, Chadwick was the director of our movie, Tate Taylor. He also directed Get On Up, which was Chadwick played James Brown.
Yeah.
And they said that he was like rehearsing like every morning for like 6 hours. So
Wow.
I mean, he picked up dancing pretty fast. I don't know how he didn't pick up baseball.
Well, I mean, he
Well,
didn't look,
that's the thing,
he didn't look terrible. It's just like it's hard to beat Jackie Robinson.
That's true.
He's so smooth.
Yeah, but I also think like the way you come prepared for certain stuff, maybe come prepared for that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like you can watch video of Jackie Robinson run and say, how can I make myself run
Yeah.
like that? I think that's a good, if you're doing like a guy that existed in real life.
Yeah.
Like if it wasn't Jackie Robinson, you go, oh, maybe that's just how
And
that character runs.
There's
exactly.
worse examples than that one. That's just kind of like the freshest one. Like, I watch like Major League, and there's like a lot of good stuff. Like Charlie Sheen looks great when he's pitching.
Yeah.
Like he could be a pitcher. And then you got the old Tom Berenger can't swing. Like they
say Jackie Robinson was the first black Major League Baseball player, but there's technically a different guy that was first who just he didn't play on the field, but he got a contract before Jackie
really?
Robinson. That's an interesting fact.
Nice.
Also, arguably the first Major League baseball player that was black could have been Babe Ruth.
Lay it down.
Was he black?
Here's the thing.
It's the conspiracy.
There's a great conspiracy that Babe Ruth never knew his mom, and his dad was a scumbag who owned a bar in Baltimore and would just have sex with all these strippers and prostitutes, and he was obsessed with black women. And so then when he gave up Babe Ruth for adoption at age like 16 or 15 or whatever, no one knew who the birth mom was. And if you look at photos in black and white, Babe Ruth has kind of like a flattened nose. He was a little darker in all the black and white photos than all the other players next to him. So and maybe that's why he's so freaking good at baseball.
Yeah.
Another interesting fact. Weird, right?
Yeah,
Maybe.
that's interesting.
Maybe old Babe was the first black baseball player. You mentioned Ma a second ago. That's the movie when does this come out?
Comes out May 31st.
May 31st.
Yeah.
Are you very excited about it?
I'm super excited. It's like my first like kind of big thing, like movie
It's
in
fantastic.
theaters. Like it's a lot of fun too.
Have you
Like,
seen yourself on a movie theater screen before?
when I saw the movie? Yeah.
Yeah, so that was the first time.
Yeah, that was the
How'd
first
that feel?
time.
It felt great, right?
Yeah, it was crazy. It was
Yeah.
insane. I honestly don't even remember the movie because I was just like in
When
awe
was my
the whole
part?
time.
Yeah.
The whole time I'm like, God, fuck, when's this scene coming out?
Yeah.
So yeah, it was just super like, it was crazy.
That might sound weird, but I think that is what every person would do when they're in TV or anything. I do it all the time still. Like on TV, I'll be like, when am I on again?
Yeah.
You want to see yourself on there. Yeah.
Yeah.
The movie was written by a good pal of mine I've known for 10 years,
Oh, you know
Scotty
Scotty?
Landis.
Nice.
We've known each other for a long time. He's the head writer of my show Money from Strangers
Oh, nice.
on MTV. I think he's one of the coolest guys to be around.
Such a legend.
There was a minute there, and I don't know if he maybe already did it or maybe it's an idea that he didn't execute, but he was going to write a book on how to be the coolest guy in the room. And I was
really?
like, there's nobody better to write that
Yeah, than
book
Scotty.
than you.
Yeah.
Like anytime he's just such a cool
Yeah,
guy.
just coy, just like chills.
I asked him, I told him, I was like, we're having him on. I'm excited to meet this guy. He seems like a cool dude. I'd be pals with him. And then he goes, I go, is there anything I should ask him? He told me that you get full naked in this movie.
Yes.
And it's not even in the script. That's what I heard.
No, it is in the script.
Oh,
Wait. It originally it is in the script that I get naked.
Yes.
But like I guess you weren't supposed to like really see anything. I was just supposed to like cover it. But then the director was like, no, we want to get a shot of his ass from behind.
Yeah.
So I was like, that originally wasn't in it. There was no like nudity per se.
Yeah.
But then like the director came to me, he was like,
You're gonna be like
Yeah.
Patrick Swayze or like Terry Bradshaw or Brad Pitt.
hopefully.
and
I
Troy.
woke up every morning at 5 a.m. and I sprint the hills in Mississippi. I got a private trainer like for 3 weeks before I had
Really?
to.
Oh, that's smart.
And
Just
a
doing
couple
le-
weeks
just
before
doing
I
leg
went to
workouts.
Mississippi, I was lifting here. I was like, I need to look fucking good for this.
I
This
love
is
that,
my
though.
chance. You
But I
know?
love that.
Yeah.
See, that's all about like we're talking about preparation. That's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah.
So the movie that's coming out March
May
5th
30
Yeah, May 31st.
May 31st.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, no
May
worries.
31st. It was an M month.
Yeah.
Got ADD.
Yeah, there's two of
Dyslexia.
them. You had a good chance. 50-50.
My dyslexia is so bad that sometimes I call it ADD.
Yeah.
Can you tell us anything about the movie that
Yeah,
mean,
it's basically it's about an older woman who starts buying alcohol for a bunch of kids,
Right.
Us, and it's like dope. We're like, oh sweet, like we're not gonna get in trouble.
We
And
got a hookup.
Yeah, we start hanging out at her house, and then she just goes a little crazy.
Yeah.
So I mean, we've all been in. Have you ever been in this like, hey Mister? You ever do that when you're growing
Never.
up? No.
No, because I didn't drink till late. I was kind of like a church kid.
Uh-huh.
I was wild, but I was like, I didn't
Yeah.
want to drink out. I was a lot of fear
Yeah.
in me. I didn't want to do that. But that's a thing, right? I mean,
Yeah.
like, I imagine it's so easy to buy alcohol nowadays if you're a kid.
I think it's the opposite. I think they
Harder.
Yeah, they like put the hammer down. They're trying to like, I don't know. There's so many rules nowadays. I feel
Yeah.
like back in the day, like I hear stories from my dad, like it was lawlessness, and now it's like everything's like super.
My uncle would go buy beer in his Letterman jacket
Yeah,
after
Really?
a football game.
yeah. There was this one place, DeCosta's. I mean, I don't drink alcohol, and I still don't, so like I never went in there. But I know there was a place in Rhode Island that would literally just. Sorry, I'm ratting them out, but they would just sell to everyone. Like you could be like my little brother was like 12, could walk in, and they'd be like, okay,
Really?
yeah,
You,
just
like,
have-
you got money, right?
Yeah, yeah. Or it's like, you're like, show me your ID. You know,
Yeah.
just show them like a credit card or something, or like a school ID, and they're like, okay, like just so the cameras can see it, and then you're out. It's like wild.
Scotty Landis actually has a great story.
I think that's why he wrote this, because he told me, because I asked him, I was like, well, what was your inspiration? And he's like, well, I just kind of like I've dealt with this a couple of times, like growing up and like with older people hanging out with younger people, like, so I guess that's where it came from.
He told me a great story about he was like fishing, or they were somewhere in Maryland, and he found like an ID on the ground, but the ID was like a 74-year-old like heavyset black guy, and Scotty is at that time probably 19 years old.
Yeah.
He's also very white and very thin guy and tall.
And there's nothing wrong with being white. I just want to let
Yeah,
everyone
just
know.
to preface it.
Yeah.
White's fine.
I'm bringing it
So is
back.
black. So is
Yeah,
black.
little rough.
You could be black, gay, white,
Little
everything
rough
is
history,
fine.
but
Yeah.
whites
Yeah.
are still okay. So I guess he would take, when he would go to like the bars, he would use that ID, and the door guys would look at it and then look up at him. It's like so clearly
Yeah.
not him
Yeah.
that they would laugh and give him a pass. Like, that's funny. Like, you got me, so now you're in. Like, which I think is such great balls. To be like,
That's
"Yep, this is
hilarious.
me. I'm a 74-year-old black guy. It makes me so happy.
That's funny.
He's a really, 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 really good guy.
He came and visited for I think like 3 or 4 days, and we hung out. He's a super cool dude. Yeah.
Yeah, what kind of movies do you want to do? This is like a kind of a horror thriller.
Yeah,
I
it's
guess
like
you'd say?
I'd say it's kind of like a little bit of American Pie-ish, like
Interesting.
mixed with like not so much like having sex, but like more like the parties and the fun,
Yeah.
and mixed with like
Group of
the
young
Get
people.
Out and Scream, and kind of like the whole vibe of that. But yeah, like this is definitely like something I totally wanted to do. Like I
Yeah.
was 100% in for a Blumhouse horror, and it just came about, and I read the script. I was like, this is literally the perfect role for me.
I love
like
that.
it's just like a guy that's just super fun and says
It's
whatever.
going to be a home run because it's Blumhouse
yeah,
also.
yeah.
Like they've made
And it's
very-
Octavia. Like she's
Yeah.
amazing. Like,
Yeah,
and
she's
she's
good.
incredible in this movie. So
I hope in the end she turns out to be like a demon. That's what I hope.
I can't
No
say
spoilers.
anything.
I hope
can't
she
say
like
anything.
spreads wings
Yeah.
and like we thought we were dealing with like a crazy black lady.
Yeah.
Turns out she's a demon.
Yeah.
She's a succubus.
Yeah. How great would that be?
It'd be interesting. It'd be very not like Blumhouse, like not the way
Yeah.
Blumhouse does things. But
like-
it's also like a fuck you. Like yeah, like
Yeah.
We can do what we want.
Don't put us in a box.
You thought it was just some lady.
yeah, yeah,
Because why don't they just knock her out?
yeah.
Just punch her in the face.
So
true.
we'll find out.
You'll see. Yeah,
We'll
you'll
see.
see.
I'm
Find out.
excited.
Yeah.
It's always the beginning of those kind of movies, stereotypically, and not like at a budget. Like this is a big budget movie, but like whenever you watch like Nate, do you like horror films?
I do. Yeah.
I love horror films. I always roll my eyes at the dialogue in the beginning when they're like, we're just like young people. We're going on a trip together.
And this
like,
is not like that.
Oh, that's good.
Which is what I loved so much about the script. It's like so many writers and like actors, like they fall into like the stereotypical high schooler, like I'm the dude with the football, like fuck you. And it's like it's like
token black friend and like
it's
the hot girlfriend that he's a dick to.
Yeah, it's like no one's like this. Like, and Scotty did a great job of like, it also kind of has like workaholics humor in it, like a little bit, but Tate is more dramatic. So like it's kind of like a cool blend, like the way it came out.
Nice.
And yeah, it's not super stereotypical. It's just like there's just these like kids who are just fucking figuring
Want
it
some
out
alcohol.
and having fun. Yeah.
What do you ever write? Do you write stuff?
I do. I'm starting to write now. Like I always thought there's writer, like I'm an actor and I want to focus on that. But I hate waiting for jobs, waiting for people to hire me. So, but then I think I'm like, there's writers who literally are writing all day long and they can't get scripts made. Like, why the fuck am I gonna make something? But I literally like a couple weeks ago, I got over that and I was like, I'm just gonna start writing my own shit and like see what happens.
I've written every day of my life.
Really? Like scripts or like just comedy?
Every day of my comedy career, I've written every single day.
Nice.
And it took me about, what would you say, 4 months ago to finally go, hey, why aren't I writing like scripted stuff?
Yeah.
This long.
Yeah.
Because I write jokes. I write like ideas and
Like
I
2
write like
months ago,
things
not
like
even
that.
4 months.
Yeah, and then it wasn't that
Real.
long ago that I go, why don't I got some pretty, and I sent it to my pals and like, yeah, this is good.
Yeah.
Like this, because I've been doing that muscle. I've been working that kind of like, of like conversations between people and setting up fiction. And yeah, it's fascinating. So I'm always like, now in the last 2 months, I'm always trying to encourage people. You should do it. You should do it. Yeah, it's fun.
I definitely had that fear, but I'm just like, fuck it. Like, I just want to write my own shit. And like, I just think my stuff's funnier than everyone else's, you know?
And I get to be the lead in my shit.
Yeah,
That's right.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's right.
Fucking Sly Stallone it. Be
I
like,
don't have to just be the like the douchey guy that's like, get out of here, fag. You know? Like, it's nice to
Which
write
is
myself.
what, like, is that what you get cast as?
Oh yeah, or like the stoner like neighbor guy who's like
really?
a dummy.
Yeah. I like, that's all the things that I go in for. It's like douchebag rich kid. I'm like, oh really? Like, just because the way I guess the way I'd look like.
And that's the thing. Like we were talking about earlier, like people are so obsessed with looks that they just go, oh, she would have to be. She's a beautiful woman, so she's gonna be a bitch to all the fat girls. You're like, that's not how beautiful women behave. Yeah, they're not all like, if fat. Like,
the thing that's so funny is like
girls are.
Hollywood tries to be so progressive, but they're so not in that sense. It's like, well, we want like diversity in that, which is great, but it's like, well, you're still fucking up like all the regular shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like not every good-looking, tall guy is an asshole. You know what I mean? It's
the
like
hottest girl at our school in Kenwood was the nicest girl.
Oh, really?
Oh, couldn't have been nicer. And like everyone was taking shots. I mean, all the football players, all the drama, everyone wanted her.
Yeah.
And she was like, she was just like the sweetest girl. And I remember being like watching high school movies and being like, this is bullshit.
What was her name? I want you to say it.
Sunny.
Sunny.
And she was a deer. Do you know Sunny?
No.
Sunny Shervy. Shout out. You're
She
a
probably
good,
listens to
good
this,
human
yeah.
and very beautiful. And was just friendly and
Call
nice.
me Sonny.
What's that?
I told her to call me.
Yeah, and then Lindsay Palladay before her was the older, hottest girl at our school that like had graduated by the time Sunny was around, and she was a delight and like the nicest person ever. Yeah,
Nice.
so it's not all like a trick,
So many stereotypes. It's crazy.
Yeah, sometimes nerds are very arrogant and rude. You like Jar Jar Binks?
Yeah.
I do. He's funny.
I don't know who that is, but
You seen Star Wars?
man.
no, I've never seen a Star Wars movie.
Really?
Wow.
You'd like them. They're fantastic.
I think I would. Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually, I've never seen. I have now The Godfathers. I haven't seen any of those.
I've never seen those.
And I've not watched Game of Thrones, and I've not watched Star Wars. And I'm like, I need to like sit down and like.
Star Wars is an easy one.
Yeah.
It was
Isn't
like-
there like 9 movies or 10 movies?
Well,
or
there's
something?
3 that nobody would tell you to watch.
Oh, really?
Just watch the original 3. They're fantastic. And now all those new ones are really good too.
Nice.
And you'll be able to follow all of it. It's not hard. To watch Game of Thrones, you need 7 weeks to catch up.
Yeah.
Whereas
And
with
do you
Star
watch-
Wars, you could do it like in a weekend.
Do you watch like the Avengers movies and stuff like that?
I
you
do
like
now,
those?
and
Nice.
getting caught up on those was way easier than Game of Thrones.
Really?
I sat down and watched. I watched them in order. Clayton gave them to me in order. Shout out to Clayton Thomas. So it was like Thor, and then Iron Man. Just all of those. Captain America.
That's not
Hulk.
right, but I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I did them in order, and then eventually got to Black Panther, and then eventually, so like I'm all caught up, and it didn't take that long. But like Game of Thrones would like crush
take
like
forever,
6 months. I feel
Yeah.
like.
I've only seen Black Panther, and that was because Octavia like
White guilt.
yeah. No, Octavia rented a movie theater in Mississippi, and like when we were filming, so I was like, yeah, I'll go see it. I liked it. I really liked it, but I
it's
just
good.
like
They're
I'm not
all
like
good.
super into like superhero stuff like that.
I think that it's a lot going on.
Yeah.
Can you agree on that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure, I do like-
I always go to you like, is this something someone would say?
Sure. Yeah.
Or agree, or am I being egregious? Like
No, absolutely.
like it's just even Black Panther. Like there's a certain part where like they got that dome part, and they're all those creatures are trying to get in. I'm just sitting there going, this is so much.
Yeah.
Just it's a lot.
Yeah. It's like, how can we make it fucking crazier than the last one?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
and somewhat maybe what I love about stand-up comedy is at the end of the day, no matter what a stand-up comic's saying, it's still just a guy or a girl holding a microphone, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Occasionally they might sit on the stool or something. Like
Yeah.
it's you can just follow it. I watch those movies, even Avengers, the new one that just came out. It's 3.5 hours.
It's 3 hours.
Jeez.
3 hours long,
3 hours and
and
two
it's all of them.
Yeah, there's
Now,
like
all of them.
Yeah,
are
it
on
needed
there.
to be. It needed to be 3. Like, because I've seen it. I don't want to give any spoilers or anything, but like, it's. I say it's pretty sloppy movie. When you're talking a 3-hour film, like that's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like it's a little sloppy, but like as a fan of the comics and everything, like it's just 3 hours of like fan service. And there's like moments that I never thought I'd see.
Nice.
That they gave
yeah.
me, but,
so like, but on Rotten Tomatoes, it got like 98%, so they
it's
thought it was
fantastic.
great.
Yeah, it's fantastic. If
Well,
you're
he
if
would
you're
have
a
gave it
fan,
98
Yeah.
too.
yeah. If you're a fan of it, like it's fantastic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Nice.
Because at this point, it's like they've had 21 movies previously in the canon, and now they're trying to wrap up this big
Right.
put a bow on
It's
it.
an all-star game mixed
Yeah.
with the
There's
World
a lot.
Series.
There's a lot they had to do in this movie, so I understand why it's a little sloppy.
Yeah.
And then they gave me so much more that I never thought I would see. So it got a huge pass for me.
Their nudity.
No,
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
man.
Disney.
No way.
What do you mean?
Yeah, I'm out.
What do you mean? It's Disney.
Yeah.
I just thought maybe,
Maybe in Deadpool.
that wasp chick would just be like, hey,
Who plays her?
Angela Lily,
Evangeline. Yeah.
Evangela, the girl from Lost.
Mm-hmm.
I thought maybe Scarlett Johansson's character. What's her name?
Black Widow?
Bow and arrow lady.
She's not a bow and arrow.
That's hard to say.
Hawkeye's a bow and arrow.
It's hard to say.
No, I'm saying it. I'm saying it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
hard to tell.
I agree to disagree. but- yeah, those movies. So I think you should watch Star Wars as an actor.
I think I would like it as well.
Yeah.
What do you like? What kind
I
of
actually
stuff do you
auditioned for
enjoy?
the Han Solo movie.
You
Oh,
did.
nice.
Yeah.
Dude, that movie didn't do well. We've already covered this. If you're a listener of my podcast, I'm sorry, I'm doing it again. I love that movie.
Yeah.
It was so fun.
Well, it's actually like I have a funny audition story. So they called it like Red Solo Cup, and they made it seem like it was a high school movie because they didn't want people to know.
Yeah.
But and they changed the names and everything. But I walked in, and it was probably like they had like usually
you
they
could
never.
be Solo. Look at this guy.
I guess, yeah.
you look
tell
like
them
him.
that.
Yeah,
Who's the casting?
you'd have been great. The guy that played it did great too.
He did a good job, yeah. But I walked in, and they had the camera, and they had like a desk set up. Like they had props. It was weird. Like I've never seen this in an audition room. And then I look over, and it was the most beautiful girl I've ever seen in my life sitting there
Really?
reading. And it had nothing to do with the scene. I was just like this girl
Taken
is
aback.
This girl is beautiful.
Yeah.
And I was reading with her, and I like
On the outside.
yeah. So I didn't know much about, but she seemed nice. And I literally was just so like flustered. I was
Yeah.
like, thanks, have a good one, guys.
Just befuddled.
Yeah. And I just like walked out, and I was like, I called my manager, and I was like, that was terrible.
Right.
Yeah. I didn't get a call back for that, but
That movie was so fun. And it stands alone. You could watch that movie on its own, I think.
Yeah.
It kind of lives in the space of Star Wars.
Yeah, it does. It's a spin-off type thing.
It's so good. Wait, so he asked you, what do you watch though? Like, what's your thing?
I
Or if
like
not watch, like what do you enjoy?
I watch a lot of TV. Like I like TV, and like Sons of Anarchy. I love Breaking
Oh.
Bad. Like have you seen The Night of? It was like a mini series on HBO. It's like probably my favorite thing ever made. It's
The
like
Night
Riz
of.
Ahmed and John Turturro.
I love John Turturro.
So
I'll watch
good.
anything with John Turturro.
It's so good.
So it's called Night of.
The Night of, yeah. And it's about like I think he's Pakistani, but I could be wrong. He takes his dad's cab, and then he goes and hangs out with a girl, and he wakes up and she's dead, and they try and
My
like
manager was telling me to watch this.
so good. It's
Yeah.
so good.
You like it better than Ozark?
I watched a couple episodes of Ozark. I couldn't get
Didn't
into
get
it.
you, huh?
Yeah.
That's but you like Breaking Bad.
But I love Breaking Bad. Yeah,
Because
You should give Ozark another shot.
I agree. I think I would
relate
like
them
it.
the same way that like when I was watching Breaking Bad, no TV show ever made me like, when you're watching something, especially like like superhero stuff, like they're gonna get out of it.
Yeah.
You understand? Breaking
Yeah.
Bad, I was like, I don't know the fuck they're gonna get out of this.
Right.
Yeah.
That's how Ozark was.
And Ozark's the same way.
Oh,
yeah.
really?
Ozark, I'm just like,
it literally.
I don't know how they're gonna get out of this.
Stressed me out.
Yeah, it's
I
really
would watch an
stressful.
episode and then I'd get stressed. And then once it was over, I would kind of like walk around my place and just be like, man, my life is so good.
Yeah. Yes.
Like I make honest money. I'm never looking over my shoulder, and
Yeah.
that show is all that.
Yeah.
But that's how good it is.
Yeah, and not to like plug my own shit, but I'd never seen an episode of Power when I was filming this season, and like because I didn't want to know more. Like, say for example, like someone came in like in the scene that I wouldn't have known.
Yeah.
I would have a different reaction if I had watched the show.
Sure.
So I kind of like made it a thing like I'm not gonna watch any episodes. I cracked. And I was like, I'm gonna watch a couple just because everyone talks about what's
get
going
the
on.
tone and everything, yeah.
Everyone talks about what's going on, and I can't be in those conversations. So I watched like 4 or 5 episodes, and then I watched like before I know it was like 3 days later I watched 6 seasons.
Nice.
This show, I was like, I'm on this fucking show.
That's
like,
great.
show is sick. Like, and my stuff is so different than what the tone of the show is because I'm like a high schooler, and like I'm at a boarding school. I play like a rich kid, and the show is the opposite of that. And I'm like, it's so weird. Like, obviously, like I was at table read, so I know like what the show's about.
Yeah.
But it's just like it's a wild show. It's crazy.
I love that.
Yeah.
The and also the premise of a podcast is to plug your shit.
Yeah,
So
it's
yeah,
true.
that's why you're here.
Yeah,
what
we
we
want
want.
to
That's why
plug your
you're
shit.
here. Yeah,
Yeah, I find it hard to watch shows that are scripted.
Uh-huh.
So when I like recommend some like Ozark, something like that, I feel like it's that good. Like, what's the new Ricky Gervais show?
Afterlife.
Afterlife, phenomenal. Derek, which is another Ricky Gervais show, phenomenal. But for the most part, I'm just watching like documentaries and like sports stuff.
Do you like reality show or like
No.
reality stuff? No, you
No,
just
none
watch
of that.
documentary and sports
I
stuff.
used to, when I had a girlfriend, I used to watch a lot of reality crap because she
Really?
would watch it,
Yeah.
and then I would just like make fun of it.
Like
with
fucking
her.
Vanderpump Rules or like Siesta Key or something like that.
Vanderpump
Really?
Rules.
Really?
Well, I never watched that, but I'm friends with Kristen Doty.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But the
Friend
no,
of the
I was
show.
mostly like The Bachelor or The Bachelorette.
Nice.
And I would just berate those
As the
people.
first time I watched it was this season because I was seeing a girl who watched it.
Yeah.
It's garbage.
It's trash, yeah.
It's like awful. Like
But
Jersey Shore. Do you ever watch Jersey Shore?
Free judgment
Yeah,
is what it
it's
is.
true,
I
yeah.
can just rip these girls apart
Yeah.
and not feel bad about it because they're all garbage.
I do it on social media too. I like.
Yeah.
I'm like it's hilarious. Yeah.
And then also, what was the other one? Oh, Bad Girls Club. I used to watch that all the time.
I
It
don't know
was
what that
so
is.
bad.
Jersey Shore. I really liked. Did you ever get into that?
I liked it before they were rich.
Yeah, agreed. I didn't
So
watch.
like
I
the
didn't watch
first
the
few
new one.
seasons when they
Yeah.
were just like scumbags who
Yeah,
were like,
yeah.
look, we have cameras following
Yeah.
us. Want to come back to my hot tub?
Yeah,
And like,
yeah.
they're just
But
trashed.
they had more to lose, and they didn't want to.
yeah, now they're like millionaires,
Yeah.
celebrities, and people are like, oh my god, you like Snooki? I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm Snooki. Like, I don't like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
It became like ghetto entourage.
yeah. Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that guy's from Rhode Island. That guy Paulie D. So
Oh, yeah.
everyone was like,
You
he's a fucking hero of Rhode Island.
Won't believe what he's doing now.
Yeah, he's doing a new show with Vinny, right? A double shot of love.
Even worse. I
What?
mean, maybe he is.
Yeah, he's doing that
Yeah,
show.
he is.
But I was
I
just
think
landed in Vegas.
Chris
Oh,
Kolsky's working on
DJing,
it.
right?
Oh,
on that
really?
show.
Well, no, he's. Oh no, it wasn't him. It's not Paulie D. It's Vinny. So Vinny is he hosts one of those stripper shows where the guys
No.
come out and they're like gyrating all the different stuff. Like he's the host of it.
Oh, that's so
But
sad.
on the poster, he's got his shirt off. Doesn't look anything like the date bait that's standing behind him. They're all like abs
Yeah.
and like this.
Ripped.
And then he's in front of them with his shirt off, wearing a bow tie too. I thought it was a goof. Like I saw it and I was like, what?
It's him?
Yeah, it's him. And he does it. They must pay him heaps.
Yeah.
He must be paying so much money.
Yeah.
But he comes out and he hosts.
That must
he's
be
like,
soul crushing.
Yo, what, ready for my next 2 guys to come out? And like, I almost went to the show just to be like, I can't believe this is happening.
just so you have material. Yeah.
Unbelievable. Yeah,
That's
it was
insane.
shocking.
Yeah, he I think he tried to do comedy for a while now.
Oh, I feel like everyone has.
He was doing stand up at like I remember seeing clips of him at like Gotham Comedy Club and
awful.
like yeah.
Must have been dog shit.
It was
right?
it was terrible.
Yeah. Which nobody's good right when they start, but
Yeah.
especially someone who thinks they should be good when they
Well,
start.
the issue is, it's like if you're already famous and you're doing stand up, like when you're trying like to hit like the open mics and like do the clubs, like you're getting recorded because people, so
Absolutely.
like they're seeing your dog shit. Like imagine if like you were what you are now, like
Right.
15 years ago when you were starting, like you'd be like, oh,
Well, and
you
we already have
cringe.
an opinion of him.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like I'm already gonna be like, what is he talking about? Like he can't do I'm so broke jokes.
Yeah,
He can't
yeah,
do like
yeah.
you know, like I don't know, like it's they're in a tough position, but
Yeah.
also like that's the bed you made.
Yeah,
We know
exactly.
you from that. Yeah, it's tricky. Well, where can people? So Ma comes out May 15th.
May 31st.
God damn. May 31st.
Jeff doesn't want anyone to see this movie.
They're gonna see
Mine
it.
comes out August 7th.
Sorry out. You missed it.
Yeah.
You
May
missed it.
31st.
Yeah.
It's May 31st.
May 31st.
Yeah.
And then the show Power, is that, where can they watch it?
It's on you can watch it on Stars, and you can get it on the Stars app. I don't know when season 6 is coming out. They haven't give us a lot of details, but 50,
catch up. If you haven't seen it, catch up.
But 50 Cent directed episode 3, which is my favorite episode this season, so it's dope. So definitely catch up and watch that. Yeah.
And then till then, they can hear you on Theo Vaughn's podcast.
Yep, Theo's podcast this past weekend. I produced that. I helped produce that. So
How's that been?
It's so fun. I've learned so much from him, and like he's so funny. He's like probably one of my favorite comedians. Like, and every time I've seen his hour maybe like 7 or 8 times, just because like
he was a reality show guy.
He was on Road Rules.
Yeah, Road Rules.
Yeah.
In fact, one of the first things I did in Seattle was Theo Vaughn was headlining Laughs Comedy Spot. He might not even know the story. They called me and said, "Listen, we got some reality guy. He's sold this place out.
Yeah.
I mean, people have came to see him, but he doesn't have enough material to like headline.
Yeah.
We need some people to come do some comedy in front of him that aren't, like just to kind of fill the time."
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah. And I did it for free. Because I was just like so excited. And he was so nice. And actually was pretty funny then
He
too.
is the most genuine and nice person I think I've ever met.
And he was a totally different guy on stage then than he is now.
He found his voice 100%.
It's a total like kind of new thing.
Yeah. Well, what was he like back then?
It's like me. He talked like this, He's just like, there was no Southern drawl and the words and the way he would string things together is totally different.
Yeah.
There was no mullet. It was just like, I'm this handsome guy from Real World.
Well, I feel like he had like a couple he had a couple jokes with the mullet, and they're so funny, and it's like he can't cut it until he does a special. It's like,
You don't think he could be like, hey, I used to have a mullet?
I mean, he could, but I guess it's like more like there. That's just what I think. Like, I think he wrote the stuff and it kills.
What's his next special? Is he working on it?
Yeah, he's working on doing another special. I don't think it's going to be through anyone. I think he might try and do it himself.
He's smart.
Yeah. So
he's got the following.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's a really good guy, but we can hear you on that.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
How often do they cut to you?
Like very rarely, like just like, cause I'm doing most of the behind the scenes stuff, like getting, like the questions together and all that. Like sometimes I'll chip in
Chime
there,
in.
but but they'll like shit on me. Like, like it's classic
too.
Theo. It is funny. And that's why sometimes I set it up where I'm like, Theo will go on a rant and it'll be funny, but I do all like the anthrax challenges. Like people send us gifts and we open them up. So we do that.
Nice.
And I'm doing a guest episode with him in like a couple weeks, and so that'll be fun.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. Cause there's been times where, we've had guys like Jay Mandium is always like, "Hey, catch me on DL Hughley's show." And I thought for sure, I was like, DL Hughley's not gonna.
Yeah.
He does all the time. He comes to Jay Mandium all the time.
Really?
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah, no,
so
I
that's
probably
good.
get maybe 4 or 5 jokes in.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Super happy you came on the podcast.
Yeah, thank you guys.
I'm
Thank
going
you
to tell
for
people
having
we're
me.
friends now.
Hell
That's how this works.
Well, that's a friendship podcast,
We're
right?
friends.
So
Yeah,
tell
that's what
text
this means.
Scotty right now and tell him we're friends.
We're friends. Yeah, it's official because that's how this works. You either got to be my friend or be willing to be my friend, and now it's happened.
All right, great. Yeah.
So we got all that. Tony, you want to plug anything?
Yeah, just follow me on Twitter and Instagram at I am Tony Reavis, and you can see what I'm up to there.
Nice. Oh yeah. Follow me on Instagram, please.
Yeah.
At Gianni V Paolo. I don't have Twitter because I don't want to lose my career. So
Smart man. Keep it safe.
Yeah.
JeffDye.com. Find all my dates. We love you guys.
Friendship.
How about that, Gianni Paolo? We love you, buddy. Thanks for being in the Fortress of Solid Dudes. Don't forget to check out his movie, May 31st, Ma, and season 6 of Power, whenever that comes out. And you can hear him on the Theo Vaughn podcast. We love you guys. Thank you so much for your patronage. Thank you so much for your ears and your time and your eyeballs if you're watching. If you'd like to subscribe, go to patreon.com/JeffDye. And all else, above everything else, we love your friendship. Peace.